When you release a fast-paced, physics-based multiplayer game and have thousands of players join your servers to play it, there's gonna be some bugs. And the last 7 years of Rocket League have proven that point well. In today's video, we're gonna highlight some of the craziest game-breaking bugs Rocket League has ever seen. Partly as a tribute to the devs that tracked down and fixed these issues, and partly as a roast, because all too often, they were the ones that broke the game in the first place. We'll start our physics section with probably the most notorious physics-breaking update. In August 2018, the Progression update introduced a new XP and leveling system, as well as a revamp of how points were calculated in-game. Of course, these changes completely broke dribbling. According to the devs, this bug was caused by them attempting to stop the game from giving massive amounts of ball touches in certain scenarios, like when you're standing on the puck in snow day. This in turn adversely affected both dribbling and flicks because some of those small touches were being now ignored by the game. Thus, the ball would slide off the car instead of being pushed by it at low speeds, and it would also stick to the car during flick attempts. Probably the craziest part of this was that Psyonix revealed they didn't actually have anyone skilled enough on the QA team to notice these types of issues, which of course explains why they also missed the fact that the same update effectively removed stalls from the game, as holding arrow left or right would now not allow you to dodge. The Freestyler OSM actually made a video about broken stalls the day the patch came out, while not knowing about the other issues. And it's funny to watch because in that video you hear him complaining about his flicks feeling weird, and even his opponent seemed to be struggling with them as well. On a positive note, the Progression update did totally revolutionize cube dribbling, but unfortunately for cube mains, Psyonix corrected both bugs in a patch the very next day. In January 2017, with patch 1.27, Psyonix gave a secret buff to certain players that doubled their boost power at the start of the game. Now, what made it happen for some and not others isn't clear. Some people claimed it was given to those that were previously in lobbies between casual matches, but my examples here show it happening in competitive as well. Other Reddit comments claimed it was only affecting blue teams, and I almost believed it except for the one orange clip I did manage to find. Now, it seems like it wasn't a permanent buff as the effect went away after the first goal, and it did come with some downsides as your aerial turning speed was also doubled, making for some pretty awkward aerial control. Now, goalposts in Rocket League are something that players have considered broken pretty much since launch. And while Reddit posts often had conflicting arguments about whether a bounce was correct or not, it does seem like most of these clips from 2016 should have been goals. And I would say Psyonix actually agreed, because they released an experimental goalpost patch in January 2017. At which point players then started complaining about shots that they thought shouldn't have gone in. Yes, there's really no winning with a tricky problem like this. While in general bounces have been improved by Psyonix, there's only so much that can be done. As explained in this 2018 video by Halfway Dead, bounces on curves or off the post will be calculated wrong when a physics tick registers the contact after the ball is partway inside the surface. While increasing the physics tick rate would be one fix, such changes would increase the load on both servers and clients. Long term, the hope is that with the move to Unreal Engine 5, these issues could be improved by way of continuous collision detection. Credit to Psyonix though, because even though bad bounces still happen from time to time, we've come a long way from those painful ones in 2016. We're going to finish off the physics section with a more recent issue. On April 8th, 2021, Rocket League Esports Twitter announced that the regional will be going ahead despite the existence of a new bug that allowed goals to be scored after hitting the ground at 0 seconds. Now, before we talk about what that bug is, I think I need to explain what it isn't. No doubt you've probably experienced a 0-second shot that somehow didn't get counted as a goal. But that's not a bug. You're witnessing client-side prediction as your game continues to show the path of the ball until the server confirms the match was over. Client-side prediction is an important part of what allows Rocket League to run smoothly, and these visual discrepancies are just an unavoidable side effect. The bug of April 2021 involved goals counting after a 0-second bounce, but only if they crossed a line within 0.1 seconds of hitting the ground. And I'm not even sure how this bug was identified, as there was only one example that I could find. So after informing all participants and taking into account the rare circumstance that the bug could even occur, the regional goes ahead. And then this happens.
Over to Squishy. Oh, this could be a chance. Oh my! That is as close as it gets. Almost another 0-second goal.
Once again, on social media, I saw a lot of confused people saying this was the bug, or that Psyonix had somehow robbed NRG, so I downloaded the replay file of the game so we could take a closer look. Now, it's true this was a situation that the bug could have appeared if the ball had fully crossed the line 0.1 seconds after bouncing. But in the replay, it's easy to see that it touches the ground way before the net. And while client-side prediction also appears in the replay file, it wasn't as prominent as it looked in the live feed, which showed the ball almost rolling in, thus triggering a lot of the backlash. Fortunately, the 0-second bug never was a factor in the regional, and it was patched out soon after. In August 2015, just 1 month after launch, Psyonix released its first free arena, Utopia Coliseum. And you know what the #1 complaint about it was? It wasn't that the walls were invisible, even though they were. It wasn't the fact that you could fall out of the map, even though you could. No, it was the blinding sunlight and bright colors. A month later, Psyonix took the feedback and changed the time of day, as well as made a bunch of other visual additions, such as the arches around the field. Fortunately, this first map was a good lesson, and Psyonix was careful to take into account the effects of lighting, color, and time of day in all future map releases. Oh wait, no, they didn't actually do that at all. For our map section, we will explore the painful progression of Rocket League Arenas from launch all the way down to today. So let's get going because there's a lot to talk about. Wasteland and its sloped sandy corners arrived in late 2015 to add some variety to our games. A variety of weird bounces anyways. Yes, this was the start of non-standard maps in competitive Rocket League, something most veteran players consider a dark time for the game. And that's not even because of the bugs. Moving on to Neo Tokyo, Psyonix attempted to raise the skill ceiling by raising the sides of the map. But I don't think we were really ready for it. Of course, with a new map came new bugs, the most common being the ball literally falling through the floor. Players were stuck waiting for time to run out, or if they were in overtime, it would come down to a standoff of who would give up first. In late 2016, Psyonix decided to go back to releasing standard maps with Aquadome, but unfortunately, that didn't make things go any smoother. Most of you probably wouldn't recognize Aquadome in this form, and that's because it eventually had to be completely redone. The original was bright, oversaturated, and under-optimized. Many systems would suffer huge frame drops or even crash when they tried to load into the original version of the map. Now, despite these early lessons, Rocket League Arenas have continued to be a major source of community backlash, even though there has been a lot less technical bugs. Fast forward to May 2021, Update 1.96 finally saw the removal of both Neon Fields and Forbidden Temple Day for something Psyonix called additional revisions, which I would guess has something to do with Neon Field's lighting, and Forbidden Temple's day version causing performance issues. The addition of Salty Shore's night in the same update is also interesting, because May is usually the time of year we would see the day version return to rotation as well. I have to assume that they have come to agree with the player base that that map is also too bright. We are now a year since that patch. Neon Fields, Forbidden Temple Day, and Salty Shore's Day have not been seen again or even mentioned. Additionally, the pattern of maps that are thought to be too bright, like Deadeye Canyon, or too dark, like Starbase Aftermath, has continued. And I don't think I even have to talk about this one. These days, to call Rocket League Arena designs game-breaking is probably a little extreme. But historically, they do have a pattern of being game-disturbing, and I really hope that soon they'll recognize the need to ask the community to review and give feedback on maps before they are made public. Our final map bug actually got a lot of publicity recently when Nitro Salad did some testing to prove 5 maps had corners that performed differently than the rest. This is actually not a new revelation, as seen in this post to Reddit by Fady Red 7 months ago, and others have claimed it's been known even longer. Now, depending on the cause, this might not be a simple fix for Psyonix, but we're still waiting on a response in regards to that. While competitive integrity has been brought up, I don't think it's that big of a deal, though yes, Forbidden Temple has been used as the Game 2 map in RLCS for about the last year or so, and I would be surprised if that changes, if only to prevent any controversial situations or doubt when there's money on the line. On July 31st, 2015, Psyonix released patch 1.03, in which they said they reduced but did not eliminate instances of the invisible car bug. Little did they know, the statement "did not eliminate" would continue to be true all the way down to 2022. I was able to find examples of the invisible car bug for almost every single year since 2015, including a widespread 2018 bug that made invisible cars a pay-to-win feature, as those that did not update their game would not be able to see players that had bought the new McLaren DLC. But it's the 2022 instance of the glitch that leads us to our next section, because lately, there's been a lot more going on than just invisible cars. Over the last few months, the casual playlist has had some pretty unique bugs, most of which seem to be related to the transition from the free play lobby between games and the start of the actual match. Because of this, I've seen people end up backwards at kickoff with a 100 boost. Other posts have shown games that start with players right beside the ball at kickoff. And then there's the extra player bug, which for one player looks like you're in a lobby full of invisible cars. And for the rest, there's an extra car that can even drive around the field before the game starts. These extra players will often not appear on the scoreboard, and actually will have a gray tag when you demo them. Now, it's easy to look at a bug like this or some of the others we talked about and question how they even start, and maybe why they're not fixed yet. But game development is a complicated beast. Really, you could make a video similar to this about bugs and glitches for almost any multiplayer game that's out there. But while we are roasting Psyonix a bit, I do also have to give them credit for the work they do to keep this game running. Now, this list was partly based on a Reddit post and tweet where I asked the community to give me some of Psyonix's biggest mistakes. And I just want to say I appreciate everyone who responded, and though my direction eventually leaned towards more of a bug-focused video, I do hope to come back and talk about the game design decisions that were also brought up in these discussions. Alright, I'm going to finish off the video with this crazy clip from beta testing in early 2015. If you guys enjoyed this, please do subscribe and check out some of my other lore content, like this look into some of the secrets hidden in the game files, or perhaps the story of Rocket League mechanics that used to have very different names. My name is Rocket Sledge. Thanks for watching.